Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, it's the International Space Station. Loud and clear, we're ready for the event.
Canadian National Film Board Space School, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Ramona Jennings, Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development in Nova Scotia. How do you hear me?
Ma'am, I read you loud and clear. It's a pleasure to have you and everyone who's gathered there today and the National Film Board here with us on board the International Space Station.
Hi, Chris. It's a pleasure to speak with you again. I've been following your mission and have been enjoying all your breathtaking pictures and great videos on your Twitter account. I'm particularly happy to be here today to highlight this great new interactive website designed by the National Film Board of Canada in collaboration with the Canadian Space Agency for Young Canadians. And oh, by the way, happy Earth Day.
Well, happy Earth Day. I brought a small Earth with me as well because it's Earth Day today. And if anything, my respect and my concern and my love for the Earth has only been deepened by the chance to see it from this perspective. It's an incredible privilege to see this Earth this way, and I'm glad you've had a chance to look at some of the pictures I've been sending down to try and just express our sense of stewardship necessary to be occupants of Spaceship Earth.
We have students ready to ask you questions. Let me introduce you to Madeline, who is in grade 9.
Since you have first been up in space, have you been able to see any visible effects of global warming?
Madeline, yes. Climate change happens locally and it happens globally. And the places we see it the most are here in southern Russia at the Aral Sea. It's dried up tremendously. We were watching how the glaciers have been melting down in Patagonia, down in the southern end of South America. And of course, Lake Chad in Central Africa, from the first time I flew back in 1995 till now, has significantly dried up. So yes, as the weather changes around the world, not just with the seasons, but from year to year, you can definitely see it from this global perspective. And it's really just a visual reminder of the necessity to think about what we do as individuals and what we do as communities to maintain the health of our own planet.
Hello, my name is Liam, and I'm in grade 9, and my question is, do you get bored in space? If so, what do you do?
To me, boredom is just mental inactivity. And I never get bored. There's so many things to do, and this place is so rich with opportunity. If I have 30 seconds, there's always something else to do. And boy, if I have a couple minutes, then I grab my camera and I race over to the windows and try and get a picture of what part of the world is underneath us. Or I go and read what people are sending me on Twitter. Or we have a whole list of job jar experiments to run and do all the time. Try and get those done. Or I start making lunch for the other crew members. Or I contact my family, or I try and write about what the experience. I have a guitar on board. I play a lot of music, and I've written music up here. So I'm never bored. There's just so many things to do. Of course, not just here on the station, but on Earth as well, that I'm always looking for more time and not more activity.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Anissa.
Hello, my name is Anissa, I'm grade 7, and my question is, are you afraid that something bad could happen to the space station?
No.
Afraid no, because it's a great chance
avec un niveau de danger arrive à la
that
station.
it would be
Et donc,
very
c'est absolument mon rôle comme commandant aussi, comme membre de
it wouldn't
l'équipe
happen.
officielle
Nothing
de
would
gestion,
happen
d'être
in
très
to
prêt
the
pour ça.
station,
Nous
and
avons eu
we are
aussi un
prepared
cours
for that.
d'entraînement
We
pendant
have
beaucoup
followed
des années pour moi,
a lot of
être
training
en
over many
préparation
years. So
pour
my
être ici à
level
la
of
station.
preparation to
Et
be
donc,
here in the
après ça,
station is
nous
very
avons
high. So
identifié
after
chaque
that, we have
idée,
identified
chaque danger qui peut-être
every
arrive à la station
danger that
et
could
décidé
happen
déjà
to
de
the
nos actions,
station,
de ce
and
que
we have
nous allons
decided
faire
what
dans ce cas.
we would do
Et
if
avec ça,
anything happened.
le
And
niveau
with that
de peur
level,
diminue
the
et amélioré. Et
we
avec
we
ça,
we're not
c'est
afraid that
comme ça. Je sais
something
bien
that
qu'il y a
is going
le
to
danger,
happen. Of
mais
course,
en
we
même
know
temps,
that
je n'ai
there
pas
is a little
peur
bit of
parce
danger,
que
but I'm not
je suis
afraid
préparé.
because I am prepared,
J'ai un plan
because
et
I have a
nous avons
plan,
pratiqué ça
and
beaucoup de fois avec l'équipage.
we have
Et
put it in
c'est la
practice
vie de la
many
station,
times
mais
with the
aussi
team.
c'est
It's
peut-être
the
le sort
life in
pour
the
la vie chez
station,
vous, pour
but
la vie
it's also
dans,
what happened at home
dans
for
notre vie sur
you
Terre. C'est la
on
même idée.
Earth. It's the
Nous
same
n'avons pas de
idea.
peur.
We're not afraid.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Simon.
Hello, my name is Simon.
Pourquoi est-ce que tu as devenu un
Why
astronaute?
did you become an astronaut?
Bonne question, Simon.
It's a very good question, Simon.
Vous devenez quelque chose.
You
Absolument.
become something, of course.
Comme adulte,
As an adult,
c'est un fait. Vous devenez quelque
you
chose.
become something. And for me,
J'ai pris les décisions.
I
quand j'avais
decided
9-10 ans
when I was
de
about
devenir
10,
astronaute.
I
C'est à
decided to
cause
become
de
an astronaut
l'impression donnée par les
because
premiers
of the
astronautes,
impressions I
Neil
got
Armstrong,
from
Buzz
the
Aldrin.
first astronauts, Neil Armstrong,
Et donc, ça m'a
Buzz,
donné un
and
exemple
it gave me
d'idée
an
de
example,
devenir
an
quelque chose
idea to
fascinant
become
pour moi,
something
intéressant pour moi.
fascinating and
Et c'est un
interesting
défi
for
pour
me.
toi aussi.
And it's a
Choisis
challenge
quelque
for
chose.
you as well. You
Pensez
have
de
to
ça.
choose
Et,
and
peut-être
think
choisir
about it. Choose
un
something,
avenir,
a
un travail,
future,
un défi
a
pour toi.
work, a challenge
Et,
for yourself.
ça donne moi
It,
une vie intéressante.
for me,
C'était
it's given
seulement
me
un
an
rêve
interesting
au commencement.
life.
Et
At
maintenant,
first,
c'est
it was a
absolument
dream,
réalisé.
and
La
now
même chance
it
existe
is a
pour
dream
vous
come
autres aussi.
true. So it is something that you can do as well.
Hi, my name is Heidi. I'm with CTV in Halifax. Do I have to give my age? I've graduated from school a long time ago, but very fascinated by what you've been doing there. And I was wondering why you decided to make it your personal mission to educate Canadians and the world, especially through social media like Twitter. You're a Twitter star now. Why did you decide to take that on?
Heidi, my previous 2 space flights, when we went and helped build the Russian space station Mir, and then exactly 12 years ago today, when I was outside here on spacewalks building Canadarm2 on the International Space Station, I came back just trying to tell people how incredibly beautiful the world is and how the absolute favorite astronaut pastime is going to the window and trying to capture the experience, trying to take pictures of just how gorgeous our planet is. Well, this time I have the incredible privilege of time to be able to go to the window, and if I don't get a good picture of it this week, I can try again in a month or when our orbit precesses around. And throughout my entire career, I have felt a complete obligation to not keep it to myself. I am lucky enough to do this on behalf of literally billions of people. There are only 6 of us in space, and there are over 6 billion people on Earth. And so this experience is so rare in the human milieu that I consider it a vital part of this job to share it. And now with technology, we're not just describing it in words. We're not just taking pictures and showing them months later. NASA and the other partners have built the capability in the station now to be able to real time, like a picture I take this morning, I can go through the pictures, sort them, and send them, and within just a short period of time, share those pictures with, as you say now, with, I think we're just about to go through 700,000 people that are watching and looking at every single picture we take. And it's the beauty of it. It's really the gift of the space station is the chance to be able to see our world from that perspective, to view all of humanity as one group. And especially on Earth Day, that perspective is so poignant and so vital. And I just see it as a vital part of being the commander of this ship, of running the experiments on board, but also of sharing the wonder of human exploration with everyone everywhere.
Cindy Sweeney with the CBC, and I have a question for you from the BBC. Commander Hadfield, many people in the UK have loved looking at your photo tweets from space. We know you've tweeted many direct who have messaged you. What do you make of all the interest from the UK, especially as your ancestors come from Yorkshire?
Yes, on my father's side, my family's from Yorkshire, and my mother's side, my family's from southern Scotland, so not too far away. And they, on my mother's side, came to Canada in the early 1800s, on my dad's side, the early 1900s. So we're not that far removed from my particular history. I've lived in the UK. My daughter currently lives in Ireland, and I just I was raised with a respect for it because it wasn't that many generations ago that my family had come over. And so there's a great, strong, just personal affinity for that part of the world. It was also so pivotal for a lot of the culture that exists around the world. A lot of the societies had imported a lot of the culture that was part of the UK and Britain long ago. And so it's been important for civilization in general for much of the planet. And so I'm very interested in it. I'm a student of history and of the arts, and so a lot of it has come from that part of the world. But I was, as you mentioned, I'm very heartened and surprised by the great outpouring of interest that has come from there. It's delightful to be able to see something interesting, to be able to take a picture of it, and then have so many other people delight in it, people that maybe see something the way they hadn't thought of it before. They see their town or their region or the Isle of Wight or some of the northern regions or into southern Scotland, and they have a perspective on it that maybe didn't exist for them in the regular two-dimensional way that we see things. And so it sort of feeds on itself. When I post a picture of a place and then all those people respond and want to see it as the seasons change, it's just natural for me to do that. But it's happened all around the world. There's a lot of people in Brazil, a lot of people in Australia, people all around the world that are sending notes to me just asking to see what their part of the world looks like from outer space. And it's made a really nice interplay for me. It's really made me feel one with so many people all around the world, including the UK, but absolutely more than anywhere else across Canada.
Stephanie Robertson, News 95.7. You're coming up to the end of your mission. May 13, you're expected to land. How do you feel about that?
Oh, lots of different emotions. Of course, I'm excited about the landing. I've flown twice in space before, but on a shuttle. The shuttle kind of flies its way into the atmosphere and then picks up on wings and lands. The Soyuz comes in a little more meteorite-like and then opens with a parachute, and we come down and we let the Earth know that we're back. The Soyuz hits with definite force when we land, and so that whole process of I'm sort of the pilot. Roman Romanenko is the commander of the Soyuz, but we fly it together back home. We pilot it through the atmosphere, and then we all land together. So it's something I've trained for years, including learning to speak Russian. So that part of it, I'm really excited about. It's made me slightly wistful on board because it's starting to get to counting the last number of times I'm going to do something. And so I spend more time, I think, even more time at the window just because of the magnificent rarity of it and my desire to make sure that I absorb as much of it as I possibly can. But I very much look forward to getting back, sharing this experience in person with so many people, seeing my family, seeing my friends up close, and bringing this whole experience full circle back to really what it's supposed to be. And that is a magnificent human experience of exploration that we then weave into the fabric of everybody's lives.
Hi, this is Julia from Global News in Halifax. I can only imagine what you're eating in space. What are you most excited to eat when you get back to Earth?
Yeah, the food up here is often just like this, which is a pouch of something. This happens to be green tea, powdered green tea in a bag that we inject hot water into. And a lot of our food is like that. For lunch, I had soup like this and chicken like this and sort of a cottage cheese like this. So one of the things I miss is the smell of food. You hardly ever open a package here. There's a lot of squeezing. So the rich aroma of a coffee or the smell of something that's in the oven. The textures of food. Not a lot of our food is crunchy and has real delight in eating it. And the variety that you can get on Earth as well, where if you don't like what's in the fridge, then maybe you can just go get something else or order something. So I'm looking forward to fresh food, to the crunch and the snap of food of all different variety, and also the smell of rich coffee and the smell of fresh bread baking, that type of thing. A more full assault of the senses when I get home.
Hi, my name is Umpai. I'm in grade 9, and my question is, what kind of feelings or innovations do you feel when you're in outer space?
Well, I feel honored. Like, I don't know if you've ever had this feeling before, but maybe when you get chosen by a group to stand up and give a talk, or to do something on behalf of a group of people where they're trusting you and they're counting on you to do it right. Yes, it's a feeling of responsibility, but at the same time, it's a real feeling of honor that you've gotten to a point of life where you're trusted to do this. And so I feel that. I do feel the responsibility of it, to try and do it right, to try and have one perfect day on station where I don't make even one little mistake in any of the procedures. And I haven't done that yet. I've been here 130 days, and I've yet to have a day where I haven't at least made one little small mistake. I feel constantly delighted. Just by the opportunity to do this, of course, is so much fun, to be able to fly and float. But everything you do is you're running experiments on behalf of so many people whose whole career and hopes and dreams are in an experiment that you're running on board. Delighted to be able to see the world the way we can. Delighted by the way things behave. Just a ball of water is so different up here. And so it's a combination of delight and responsibility, as well as a great fundamental feeling of honor that really dominates my emotions. I just love the opportunity to be here and try and do my very best on behalf of so many people.
Hey, Chris, it's Jeremy here. We know we only have 2 more minutes of your time before you have to get back to your busy day. We really appreciate the perspective you've given us today, especially on Earth Day. I'd like to squeeze in one more question from one more student, and then I'll just let you end the event in 2 minutes. So here we go.
Hi, my name's Alexis, and I'm in grade 9. My question is, do you prefer looking at the stars from Earth or outer space?
When I'm at my family cottage, one of the things we really like to do is get some deck chairs, some lawn chairs out on a warm summer's evening, and stretch out and sit there, and everybody lean back and look at the sky, because it's nice and dark there. There's not a lot of city lights around. And you can start to not only see the stars, but you can see the Milky Way when your eyes get adjusted. And then you can see satellites going over. And you have time. You can sit for 20 minutes and just watch the beauty of the sky and watch shooting stars. So I like watching the sky from Earth. From here, it's actually not as good a place to watch the sky because we're inside a laboratory. It's hard to take the time to let your eyes adjust and really see the sky. And most of our windows face Earth. So what space station is good for is looking at Earth. I've seen Earth like I've never seen it before, like almost no one has ever seen it before. And this is a wonderful place to see our planet. But I think from the surface of the planet is a great place to look up. From space station is a great place to look down. But in order to look up and dream and think about all the possibilities that are out there, there's no place like home. There's no place like planet Earth to think about the future and where you might go and where we might have a chance to go in the future. Happy Earth Day, everybody. To the National Film Board, thank you for organizing Space School. It's a wonderful project. Everybody in Halifax, hello. And all of my best wishes from the International Space Station.
The station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank Thank you, Canadian
Thank
Film
you.
Board Space School Station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.